Hello everyone, thank you for watching this video. This is about the with clause. With clause is the common table expression, or you could say query factoring. This is widely used in SQL queries nowadays. Why it is being widely used in SQL queries? What is the reason for it? So we'll try to understand with an example and what are the benefits. Okay, so I've just noted down some benefits of with clause query. Like we'll go through the example to understand. You'll easily understand these benefits when we look at the example. First is the repetition of common query. Like I said, it's the repetition or duplication of the common queries. So when we have multiple uh, inline views, you could say, so which can be put it into a with clause, that reduces the code also. Plus, it is easily readable and understandable. There is the complexity is also reduced. Performance benefits is something that we will maybe another video or something that I'll take this up. How this with clause can help in optimizing the performance and improving the performance using the materializer inline him. And I'll just go to the example. So this is the schema structure that we'll be going through. So we have a table employees and there is a department to employees working in a department. And then employees have some job IDs. Those job IDs have a job title, minimum salary and maximum salary. Departments are located in various locations and locations belong to some countries and region. So that's the structure that we'll be following. Okay. Here we can see the department statistics. So we have this employee table and a department table, and it is these two are joined. And what I have done is I'm getting the count of employees, maximum salary, and the minimum salary in each department. So this particular part of the query, or you could say this particular inline view, which is now a subquery or a common table expression, you could say, or a separate with clause, which is named as department stats. So this particular query will be reused or will be used in some other with clause or some other query that we will see later. So first is it is getting the department stats like count of employee, maximum salary, minimum salary. Then we have another with clause, which is the location details. Now it is getting all the details of the location. So once we have the location ID, we'll have the city, province, country, and the region. So again, this part is again put into some other separated, basically it is separated. And then we have the details of the employees. Okay. Now, what are the details of the employees? It has first name, last name, hire date, job ID, department, and everything is like location ID, which is from the department. And then, as you can see, this department stats, DEP stats, which is a with clause. Okay, this is joined to this particular with clause. So you can do this. So this first CTE or with clause is now being used in the third CTE, right? And the alias is T. So all the count, maximum salary, minimum salary will be part of this particular with clause now. Okay, and it is being joined here using T dot department ID is equal to D dot department ID. Okay. So here you can see this employee and department. We could have three or four. We could have written the same query here also, but this would be another inline view, and then the query would have been more difficult or not readable enough. So now it is much more easily understandable. Like, it's like department stats. Now you go into department stats. Okay. Now we are passing the department ID here, and then we are getting these details. So it becomes much more easier to understand and analyze the query. So that's the advantage of with clause. Okay. We'll execute this part. I'll and I'll explain. We'll execute and we'll see the output also. What I have done, something which is a new addition or I mean, it's not a new addition. It's been quite a long time now that you could use a with function also. So what is this with function? So any function, right? Any Oracle function that you can create and store in the database, right? So even that can be used in the with function. So what I have done here is I have created a function. It takes the job ID as the input, and it returns the maximum salary in this case. And then there is another function which returns the minimum salary. So there are two functions. So I have intentionally taken two functions just to showcase that you can have any number of functions here. So like it starts here with, then you have the first function, then you have the second function, and then you have the first with clause, then second with clause, third with clause. And then finally, we have the final query, which will use everything what we have in the with clauses. The first is details. So details is this first with clause. So d dot star. Then second is this location details. This is another with clause. Okay, which will get the location details. So d dot star. And what I have done is details is joined to location details here. And now the functions that we have, the with functions. So these with functions are called here. So function get max cell, as you can see, this function get max cell is from the with clause. This is not something in the database. So it's a temporary function which will be present or uh, which will exist till the query execution. After that, it will not exist. So that's the with function. So here I'm passing the job ID and I'm getting the maximum salary and the minimum salary. Okay. So this is the overall query. Hopefully, now you would be able to use the with clause and the functions also in Oracle. In case of, I think, Postgre and MySQL, you are not able to use the with function. But other than that, everything else, like these with clauses, can be used even in MySQL and the Postgre. So what I'll do is I'll execute this particular query, and then we'll just look at the output. Okay, I'm using the live SQL because I don't have the Oracle installed on my machine. Uh, so it's the same query. So like again, I'll just reiterate. We have this with function. This is the first function. This is the second function. First with clause, second with clause, third with clause. This third with clause uses the department states, which is the first with clause. And in the final query, I'm using the details and the third and the second with clause, and then these with functions. So everything is being used here. I'll execute this, and the output here, and just to show you that it's the current output after the execution. I'll rerun it. Okay, here you can see all the details here. So this whole complex query now becomes much easier to understand. Uh, uh, See, I have written this functions and everything just for the explanation part. I could have easily joined the job table with the employee table, but then I just wanted to showcase the function. You can do anything, any kind of function uh, with the with function. It's a very, very powerful tool. So like just you'll go through the output. We get the first name, last name, hire date, job ID, department ID, maximum salary. So these are the department stats that we get from one of the with clauses using the department ID, and then using the job ID, we get the maximum salary of that particular job ID, then the minimum salary, location ID, and then all the location details. And yeah, what are the with functions or benefits of with functions? Just to end the video, it's a temporary function. It only exists while executing the query. This is one of the major use cases, or you could use it the with functions extensively in these cases. So like every production database, right? It's a read-only database. It's a read-only for the developers. And sometimes we have to uh, run the functions also, or we want to know how the function would execute, the read-only functions, right? How they would execute. So you could easily uh, take the function code and put it as with clause, and then you can use it directly. So that's I have used it extensively in these cases, and then you too can use it. Thank you. This was it from the with functions from my side. If you have any queries, any doubts on this, please do come and do let me know.